Good evening, vinyl community. It's Rob here for another quick video. So this is this thread that's going around that's not of about vinyl or record collecting. Something a bit different. I think this was started by B-Side Records. A few bits, particularly the Brit contingent, has already had a go at this. Rob Walker and Graham at Cracking Vinyl. So I thought I'd give this advice. I'm going to be honest. I don't normally do these kind of things. I mean, like every time you buy something these days or anything, they want a survey and just find out. It's just I don't know. I'm quite cynical. I just think it's all a bit of a marketing thing and trying to find out, glean information about it and stuff and all the rest of it. But I'm sure this is very innocuous and very innocent. I haven't given any thought really to these answers. So these are going to be very off the cuff, and we'll see where we go anyway. So, okay, let's crack on. So, first question: do I like blue cheese? No, and I absolutely can't stand cheese or any dairy product, to be honest with you. I loathe and detest dairy products. I stopped all dairy probably about 18 months ago, particularly milk, because I think that was affecting my gut a bit. So, and I'm sure you really wanted to hear that. But so since I've given up the dairy, transition is a lot easier, put it that way. So Coke or Pepsi? I don't particularly like either really, but if I went for one, it would be probably Pepsi. And because certainly when I was a kid, I always preferred Pepsi to Coke, probably less sugar in it. And it would, definitely have to be the diet version. So do I own a gun? No, just no. Don't do guns. Whiskey, tequila, or vodka? None of them. I don't really like spirits. I like my beer, and so yes, a fine ale or lager goes down very nicely. So hot dogs or cheeseburger? Cheeseburger for obvious reasons. I don't do cheese. Hot dogs, no. I don't really eat meat, to be honest with you. I eat chicken once in a blue moon. I was actually vegetarian for about 30 years, and I live with my brother who's vegan. So I'm used to not eating meat really at all. And I think I feel a hell of a lot better for it. So, but there you go. Favorite food, without a shadow of a doubt, it's curry. Anything's really spicy. Partly the reason for that is because my wife absolutely hates curry. Would never even let me bring a curry into the house. If I did or attempted to cook one, she'd have to fumigate the bloody house for a week. And I once cooked one because my son actually likes curry, and I tried to do one, and didn't hear the last of it for a week. So no, curry, a good curry, Balti, something like that, fairly mild, not too spicy. It's very nice with rice or naan bread, but never the two together. What do you drink in the morning? I drink juice, orange juice usually, but only a small glass, and coffee, loads of coffee in the morning to pump me up and get me going. Speaking of pumping, can you do 100 push-ups? No, and I think I'd probably struggle to do 10, to be honest with you. So my upper body strength isn't particularly great. So, summer, winter, spring, or autumn? Absolutely, hands down, the summer. I love the warm weather. I love just wandering. I mean, these people who live in hot climates, and you guys in America on the West Coast, California, just unbroken bloody sunshine, you know, fabulous. Walking around in shorts and flip-flops and a bloody, you know, a singlet or a t-shirt all day would suit me down to the ground. Absolutely, yeah. My intention is to retire somewhere in a hot climate. Love the hot weather. Hobbies, well, apart from the obvious collecting records, yes, I play the guitar, and I write. I do write songs, although I haven't written anything for a long time. I enjoy cycling, so I've got my bike here now from my wife's house, so I get on that after work in the evenings. It's been lovely, the weather, so that's been really enjoyable. So yeah, I like a bit of cycling. Where I tattoos? No, I have a absolute. I'm terrified of needles, basically. So yeah, I wouldn't. No, I don't do tattoos. Phobias, yeah, needles. I'm not going to go into why that is, but yeah, no, needles, hate them. Nicknames. I had loads when I was a kid, but to be honest, I don't remember them, and I don't know, far too many to mention, and I'm not going to start going into them now. A lot of them aren't used anymore now anyway, so yeah. 3 drinks. Alcohol wise, a good beer or a lager, an ale. I like a nice cup of coffee, decent coffee. And when the weather's hot, a gin and tonic sometimes is quite refreshing, quite like that. Do I believe in ghosts? Yes, I do. Absolutely believe in ghosts. And the reason why I do is because I'm pretty convinced that I saw one when I was about 19, something like that. I drove to Wales with a friend of mine. Jumping ahead, this was actually on the way back. And this was on that A34 through Shrewsbury, I think it was. And it was sort of coming up to dusk. It was quite late. And, you know, we were both sober. I was driving, obviously. And, you know, we hadn't been smoking anything or, you know, nothing like that. And there was an ambulance in front. And I'm pretty convinced that I saw something out of the ambulance that came and was floating in a kind of very kind of ethereal way and sort of hanging there with a kind of phosphorescence around it. You know, this sort of almost, it sounds cliched, like a sort of cliched image of a spirit, ghost, you know, wraith, whatever you want to call it. And then it just disappeared and flew off towards the woods in the distance. And I never said anything to my mate who was in the car next to me in the passenger seat. But about 5 minutes later, we weren't talking at this stage, and I was trying to assimilate what I'd seen. I couldn't believe it, you know. And I went to open my mouth, and he actually said, before I'd even spoken, he says, "I know what you're going to say to me." I said, "What am I going to say then, mate?" He said, "You're talking about that thing that you saw outside, you know, that was hovering, that light on the ambulance." I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, what did you see?" And he described exactly what I had seen, you know, and I'm pretty sure that he wasn't a mind reader. So I don't know. That's the kind of abridged version of it. You know, I've told that story in a lot more detail before, but essentially what I saw, particularly because I had somebody to back up what I'd seen, I'm fairly convinced that, I can't explain that away. You know, there you go. Make up your own mind, as they say. Biggest downfall. Probably for me, it's a lack of confidence. I'm a lot more confident than I used to be when I was younger. And when you're young, that's when it really matters. You've got to have confidence when you're young. And I didn't have a lot of it at all. And I feel it held me back. Missed out on a lot of chances and things. And so, but yeah, my biggest downfall is my lack of confidence, definitely. Rain or snow? I mean, a bit of rain every now and again is all right. Snow, well, it's not really an issue in this country because we don't really get it. You know, we don't get big snow storms and drifts like, you know, I remember in the 70s and 80s when I was a kid, you know, I used to get like, you know, like I got a bike for my birthday and I couldn't go out on it for like nearly a month, you know, because the bloody snow was, there was sort of 6-foot drifts of snow up there. Couldn't even walk over, you know, you'd open the door and there'd be half a ton of snow would fall in. I mean, we just don't get that anymore, you know. Piercings, no, don't do piercings. Don't like needles. Age, I'm 52. French fries or onion rings? I quite like both, actually. You know, when you go out for a meal and, you know, and you have these side dishes, sometimes I like a few onion rings as well as French fries. Or chips, as we call them in the UK. So yeah, but still on balance, I'd go for chips over French fries over onion rings. Will 6 friends do this? I don't know, probably not. Certainly not because I've done it. Any children? Yes, I have one. I have a son who is 15 in August. Favourite colours? My favourite colour, hands down, is green. Green for me is life, nature. You know, you being in this, you know, whenever you go into the cities and stuff, and you know, it's all concrete and stuff. I crave to get the green again. You know, be the green. You know, particularly because I've lived in and around, you know, Warwickshire, which is a very green and semi-rural part of the Midlands. You know, and when you go into cities and stuff, you know, or big towns, it's, you know, I just miss the green. So I love green. Must have green. Employed, yes, I am. Yeah, I work for a marketing company and we help small businesses. Can you whistle? Where were you born? I was born in Moseley in Birmingham. Brothers and sisters, yes, one of each, both of whom are older than me. Have you ever been arrested? No, I haven't. Ever had surgery? No, and touch wood, I won't have to. I've had a few accidents and come close on a couple of occasions, but no. Religion? No, I'm just kind of very open-minded, really, but I'm not a religious person. Shower or bath? I'm used to having showers because I haven't got a bath. There was a bath at my old house, but I used to prefer to shower. Gambling? No, I don't gamble. I don't even play the lottery. So, are you a good friend? Yes, I'd like to think that I am. although I have some friends that I think have probably been better friends to me than I've been to them. Yeah, I still think I'm basically a good friend. Broken bones. Yeah, I fractured my shoulder about 9 years ago, coming down the stairs without any slippers on or anything. And I flew up in the air and put my arm down on the stair, basically because in that split second I thought, if I don't, I'll break my back. And all my weight went up my arm, and I fractured the top of my shoulder. It was only a hairline, but it was agonizingly painful because I'd kind of got all the bruising and pulled all the tendons and everything, and it was pretty horrendous. So, although my sister was in a skiing accident a few months later, and her injuries were far worse than mine. How many TVs do you own? I don't actually own any. I don't own a TV, and I very rarely watch TV, to be honest with you. I'm too busy making these bloody videos on YouTube. Worst pain ever has to be impacted wisdom tooth. And then I also I've had all 3 of my wisdom teeth removed. I think this one was missing. I had 3, which is bizarre. But yeah, the bottom ones in particular were really nasty. Do you like to dance? No, I hate dancing. And people often say to me, why can't you dance? Or why don't you like dancing? You're musical, you play an instrument. To me, it's just not the same thing. When you're kind of 6'4" like I am, and on the dance floor, there's nowhere to hide, and I have very little confidence. Like I was saying about confidence earlier, I certainly have no confidence when it comes to dancing. And it's just something you never want to experience or see. No, so just no, not dancing. Are your parents still alive? Fortunately, my mother is, touch wood. I lost my father about 8 years ago, sadly. Do you like camping? I haven't been camping for donkey's years. I have been camping. I've camped when I used to go to Glastonbury years ago with mates. We always took a tent. I went camping as well in the summer one year with my mates, a place called Earlswood, which is probably about 10 miles from here, somewhere like that. There's there's lakes there, and there's a really nice log cabin with woods and fields that were rented out. You could hire it out, I don't know, 20p a night or whatever it was back in the early 80s. We spent a week there camping, which was great, good fun with your mates. Are you weird? Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to be bonkers, haven't you? I mean, at the end of the day, it's who isn't, we've all got our quirks, we've all got our foibles, and that's what makes the human condition interesting. That's why we're interesting. I like interesting people, and they're usually quite weird or strange, because it's different. They're different, they're unique, So yeah, nothing wrong with being a bit weird or strange, as long as you're not hurting anybody. So that's all my questions, guys. So take that, what it is. That's a bit about me anyway. So yeah, all the best anyway. Until next time. Cheers. Bye bye.